Now, though, should we scrap English lessons for foreign nationals? In Greater Lincolnshire, £1 million is spent every year on what are called ESOL lessons. That's English for speakers of other languages. Most local councils run them too as part of their adult learning programmes. But Andrea, Lincolnshire's mayor, wants to scrap them. Tell us why.
Look, this is about literacy and numeracy. I mean, 8.5 million people in the UK, they struggle to read or write, and that's a stain on our society. It's especially prevalent in poorer areas where you've got cycles of adults not being able to read and write. And it also affects job prospects. And so what I said, £1 million goes to teaching English as a foreign language in Lincolnshire. And I said there should be a fairer system where we also capture the Lincolnshire, the British people. I mean, I also said, because the government's changed this, it should be as it was if you've been 3 years residency to be able to get it as somebody who comes into this country. And I wanted to add that if you paid into the system for 12 months, then you can get it if you come into the country. But ultimately, it's about our own people. Quite often they're neglected, especially white working class boys are neglected and behind educationally. And I want to help them.
Well, what do you think? So it's moving money away from people you might call foreigners and moving it to Brits.
Yeah, but you're stealing from Peter to give to Paul. You're stealing from one group of poor, disadvantaged people because you think another one deserves it. Why can't you work hard to find more money, to find money from elsewhere where there's wastage, corruption and loss? Why can't you actually try and find this money?
I am making savings.
If you are trying to so resolutely save these young boys from a future that's disadvantaged because they can't read or write, why are you taking that money?
This is adults.
Why are you taking the money from adults who could be losing out on an opportunity to look? If you want to fight against ghettoization, if you want to fight against people having to have interpreters in hospitals and in GPs, teach them English. The least you can do is keep this funding going.
No, but the fact is,
if you can't speak English and you live in this country, it's one of the easiest ways to be alienated and not be an active member of society.
Andrew.
But listen,
isn't going to change anything.
I've got no problem with genuine refugees, but we've got economic migrants coming over.
Hang on, Andrew. Just let Andrew answer.
We've got a big sign over our country saying, come here, free all you can eat. And it's getting ridiculous now. And the British people are suffering. I mean, look, most of the people you see coming over on the boats, the young men, they've got iPhones. My little one does language apps on the phone, which don't cost anything. If people really want to come to this country and learn the language, you can use an app. If I was going to another country, out of respect, I'd want to learn the language.
When you would be the person taking that away from them. That's literally who you want to become.
No,
£1 million.
Apps cost nothing.
Andrea,
you go on your phone now,
Andrea,
you can get an app
£1 million
to learn language.
To change absolutely nothing.
Well, that's a different point.
It's going to help the local people.
You're doing this as a way.
It's going to help the local people.
You're just doing this as a way to demonise a group of people who otherwise need to learn English to be
But what about the white working class young people?
I agree with you. They need help, but why are you stealing?
Because she only has £1 million. She only has £1 million. She can only spend it on one.
And the Labour
She has to make a choice. The whole point is we can't say in life just make it 2 million. Everyone's happy. We've got to make a choice.
Not safeguarded because they're foreigners, because we don't think that they learn.
She's made a choice. That's the issue.
If a young child has gone through school for 7 years and can't write English, that is a failing of 7 years. The English education system has failed.
Well, I agree.
So taking money from immigrants or people who are learning English not as a foreign language, as a second language, to come here and to teach them English is a vital part of making them useful members of society. You should not take that away.
We love calls on this 0207 862 2222. Do get in touch and tell us what you think. And gosh, Zoom has crashed or whatever. All the internet sites.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't that be? Is that great? Is that our secret desire?
It'd probably be quite therapeutic,
everything
wouldn't it,
we're just back on analogue now.
Wow, imagine
everyone start waving to each other and talking again. Anyway, while we wait for calls, if we leave aside Nelufar's point, which is find another million, you are making a choice between people who've arrived in this country as, let's say, foreigners and people who are Brits who've been through the education system and have somehow failed to learn to speak and read.
No. What I'm trying to do is I want a literacy and numeracy campaign to really help everybody. And as I said, how it was previously is you've got to have been in the country 3 years to be able to access it. The government's done away with that, and I think we should keep that. And also, I wanted where you've got to have contributed financially for the next 12 months. So I'm not doing, I'm not saying people can't access this, but I'm putting things in place to make sure it also goes to the British people. And what is wrong with that?
There are a lot more of them. That's the thing, and therefore it will be spread more thinly, and therefore that
you won't make a dent. With £1 million, there's just not enough. You won't even be able to do it in one community over a 5-year period. It's not enough money. This is just. Essentially, it's tokenism. You're saying
it's Lincolnshire. It's only one county, remember? So
sure, even in one, but I'm saying even one community within Lincolnshire won't benefit from this. £1 million is not enough to transform lives.
Ricky on X has been in touch. He says English classes support integration. It's what the Tories did in parts of the country already. Scrapping this increases division.
Absolutely right.
I'm not saying scrapping it, am I? I'm saying put measures in place.
Watering it down. That's the thing.
You're taking money away. No, don't start.
I said a fairer one where the British people can access literacy as well. I mean, how is that scrapping it?
Well, because
and also
there's less money for it.
No, but also, we live in Britain.
Yeah.
We don't live in another country, so we've got to support the British people.
That's it. That's as long as you defend that, that's fine. Absolutely. Rachel in Lincolnshire. Hi, you're in Lincolnshire. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
Do you support your mayor?
No, unfortunately not, no.
But why not? Because she's explained it very powerfully that, these are British people who paid taxes in Britain who want to see the money go towards people who live here and who have always lived here.
That's not how it works, though. There's such a blasé view of like, oh, if we just take it away from this people, then this group of people will benefit so much more. And that's not how it works. I work with asylum seekers and refugees.
Right.
As an asylum seeker, you can't do anything all day. You're saying, oh, they need to financially contribute. The only way they can financially contribute is, A, starting off by volunteering and getting some experience for which you need to be able to speak English. A lot of them don't speak good enough English to be able to do that. There's plenty of people that have the view that they just sit around doing nothing all day. You take away those ESOL classes, they're going to be stood on those street corners even more. That's what the people's
Rachel, do they have mobile phones?
Yes. And
why can't they download a free app to learn another language?
If you've ever used an interpretation app,
I've used the apps. My son uses the apps.
Then you should know that certain languages do not translate very well. But
they get the basics, won't
they? Such as Amharic, such as Tigrinya. It's not all just straight, simple as being able to speak Arabic, French and Spanish, etc.
Okay. But these are not translation apps. These are learning language apps.
But they have to be in Dari and in Pashto and in Assyrian and in
have those.
Eritrean.
There's loads of apps.
Of course they don't.
Yeah,
You're talking about a really
those aren't as
specialist
widely
set of people.
available at all.
This isn't Duolingo. You're not learning Spanish on the weekends.
Go on, Rachel. Sorry.
There is so much more to benefit from sitting in an ESOL class than just, I've done some of these language apps and it's like, it's just like you only went to school, oh, can you tell me how to get to the library and can I buy a croissant? It's not the same thing.
Okay.
As sitting in an English class.
All right,
you're
thank you.
integrating into the community, you're talking to other people, you're socialising afterwards and you're all speaking in English.
If you're in class, I understand. Okay, thank you, Rachel, thank you. Peter in Warwickshire, hi. Hey, Peter.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, fine, thanks, yes.
What do you think?
I think that we should teach foreign nationals English because our local church taught Ukrainians English so that they could get jobs. and I think that was the right thing to do.
It's a genuine refugee.
So, well, Andrew was in favour of that because...
Well, look, I said genuine refugees, like from Ukraine, I believe in supporting Ukraine. But the fact is we're getting economic migrants coming over. So if they're coming here because they want to get a job, they should learn the language themselves. I won't think of going to another country without trying to learn the language.
Do you see a difference, Peter, between people from Ukraine...
Economic migrants is different.
...and people from Afghanistan?
Well, yes, I do, yeah. I mean, Ukrainians, we have a lot of sympathy for them for all they've suffered through no fault of their own.
Yeah, I'm just because there are other war zones in other places. That's all, You can think Eritrea's had a lot of trouble, for example.
I mean, they were talking about giving identity cards to everybody so they could stop foreign people getting jobs. But I mean, why not give them a job while they're waiting to see whether they can stay or not?
Well, yeah, that's an interesting idea that has been talked about a lot. Thank you, Peter, very much indeed. Later, it's the papers and everything else. Find out why penguin bars can no longer be classed as chocolate. And club bars as well.